as Ruto accepted the handshake, well, there is a philosopher that said that the best interpreter of a man's thoughts are his actions. So this morning in a memo, the president has advised the National Assembly to create the office of the official opposition leader. What does this mean? This means that once this office is created, the opposition will get an opportunity to partake and eat the national cake without any hindrance. So, is this a handshake? Definitely yes, because what is essentially a handshake is a site of settlement or a form of settlement whereby two warring parties or disputing entities come to an agreement whereby I give you A and you give me B. This is what some call as gentleman's agreement. So if Raila gives Ruto peace, that is stop the mandamanos that are hurting the economy and nearly collapsing the country, then Ruto can give Raila some form of office or something that he can hold on to as the opposition leader. Why do you think Raila needs an office? It is very simple. At this time, in Raila's own period in life and age, he does not need any more money. I think what he needs right now is to protect the assets of his family and Uhuru's family too. So, and the only way of being able to protect these assets is being part of the government, because being in the political cold is something that will only make him vulnerable to attacks of authorities, especially given that the president that just left during his tenure, Uhuru Kenyatta, had a lot of issues, and maybe his government is accused of so much corruption cases. So when you bring these individuals to government through the office of the official opposition, what happens is that most of these cases will find their way into oblivion and collapse completely. And also there is that another thing to gain is that of business environment, whereby Raila and Uhuru will be eyeing to maintain their unfavorable advantage, especially in the corporate world. So Ruto has made decision based on maybe thinking and rethinking again, because refusing to give Raila a piece of the cake will only mean that his own piece of the cake, that is his development agenda of the country going forward, will be thwarted completely by the ongoing protests that uh, make the country ungovernable and truly unrunnable. Therefore, Ruto will find solace in a political handshake, and Raila and will find a way to protect himself and his allies, especially those in the former government, through the office of the official opposition. As you can see in all these deliberations, the issues that the Wanjiku and the Aslas at the bottom of the pyramid are crying about they are others. They are not really, they do not feature really prominently at this stage. Nonetheless, the people that are used to create a lot of chaos and really give these political leaders leverage and unfavorable advantage are the people at the grassroots level, people whose hopes are exploited by politicians. The dream of a better tomorrow defeats the reality of the sad state of affairs that we have today. And this is how the political world goes. So I believe Raila will give Ruto some kind of resistance, but in time, after much persuasion, he will get into the fold. Apparently, the deputy president's side do not really agree with this step, and we see some politicians have started lashing out already against the president, saying that he has a plan of working with Raila and excluding most of them. Yeah, that is what is going to happen, because at the end of the day, you cannot eat your cake and have it. If Raila gets closer, Gachagua will get far and further away, and that means that the Kikuyu will get out of the Ruto's fold, and that is just how the political world goes. It is filled with changes, changes, and changes. Ruto, as a political man, must learn to mobilize people the way he did in the past election, because his political marriage with Rigathi Gachagua is coming to an end very soon, because once you bring Raila there, a fissure will open up between now Ruto and his deputy, and they will be divided on a lot of issues. Given that Raila Odinga is a perfect practitioner of divide and rule politics, strategies which have centuries of experience and decades of practice, he will come and cause a lot of chaos and divide the Kenya Kwanza coalition. As it stands, the memo already by the president of this country has sparked a lot of dissent from his Kenya Kwanza camp. Most of the legislators argue that the president should not bow down to Raila's pressure. What the president is not bowing down to is Raila's pressure. This is because the president sees the sufferings of the Kenyans and the many that are suffering because of this one man, Raila Odinga. So this is the inevitable world of politics, and sometimes changes have to take place for a tomorrow that may be better or worse off. We don't know, but we know changes surely have to happen, and this world is all about changes. So the best thing that the president can do right now is to take the risk. Kenyans understand that Ruto did not act on malice or any other self-interest. This is clear because the president has taken these steps due to the pressure that is apparent both internally and with from the community of nations throughout the globe. So this is something that can really help the president at the end of the day. But we all know that politics is a dirty game, and some of the Kenya Kwanza politicians may start distancing themselves from the president, arguing that the president is in a way betraying them. So, but at the end of the day, we say a price must be paid, whether it is a high price or a low price depends on the person who is paying the price. It is either the president faces ungovernable country with Raila moving to and fro and causing chaos all over, or he faces a little political disadvantage that will make his background very maybe weak. But Ruto has shown consistently that he can really tour the crowds to himself. So he has that charm, and I think it is impossible for him to risk, because it's better to lose maybe some of his supporters instead of losing the whole country. So that one is a better cost to pay. That, in our opinion, as the community of analysts, believe this is what makes sense, and this is the step that the president ought to be taking, because at the end of the day, uh, losing the whole country, everyone loses. So a price must be paid, and the best price is the price that leads to little or no negative consequences going into the future. Political base and political support are things that can be cultivated and regained again, but once life is lost, it cannot be regained again. So I believe this step by the president shows a lot of political wisdom and foresight, and also the attributes of speed and decision. So we believe This country deserves this step because it serves the interest of the many and not the egoistic desires of the few. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe.